Hello YouTube, this is Casual with Casual Gaming, and this is another Let's Play from World of Tanks. This time we're on the map Malinovka, and I had a lot of fun for this game. I hope that you enjoy the replay. Now the last Top Gun replay that I brought you was on the Panzerjager 1, which I'm probably still butchering. This time I'm in the next TD in that same line, and it's the Marder 2. And we're just waiting on players. So while we wait on players here for this to start, Malinovka's a map I really don't like that much. It's kind of campy, but where people normally set up at is anywhere from about the G1 line on the north side to about E3, and on the south end of the field starts over here at around K3, and it runs all the way out to around H5. Now around the northeastern part of the map though, you have this big loop of road, and up at the very top of that, up near A0, is the windmill. Okay, there's oftentimes a lot of skirmishes that go on up near that structure to gain control of the higher ground on the map. So where I go to set up at is I don't want to be right in that line. I want to be kind of in the middle of where things are going to happen, so that way I can support both areas possibly. And the best place for me to set up is out around D5 and 6 in that area. Now we have some players on the opposing team that are being very aggressive. They pushed hard early. They've got 2 tanks over into our lines, but they're in defilade for me, and I don't have shots on either one of them. See, not on that, not on this guy either. So then I go ahead and turn my attention back towards where I wanted to go to in the first place. Along the way, there's this T1E6 up here. I look to see if I can get shots on that guy. I don't believe that I can. So I continue on to where I want to set up at to try and be supportive of both areas. So I pull up here into my little bushy bush because the only thing that you can get up in this area is concealment. There's no real cover except to back up into defilade. Now I get a shot at this Hago. I hit him pretty good, but I don't have enough oomph to knock him out. I take a speculative snapshot here at the M3 Stuart, and I got a 75%-ish gun cruise, so that goes wide. The other tank over there is in defilade. I don't have shots on that, but I have this Panzerjager 1 coming up behind me. I just had such a great game, man, and he's going to eat me if I don't get turned around. So my first round I miss him. Second round he closes in, and bam! First kill. I back up into defilade in case I take shots from across the way, because I was obviously spotted there. I would have been proximity spotted. He was just that close. I creep back up in here because I want a shot on the Sexton, but he's behind the rock. I definitely always want to kill artillery first. The M2, I take a shot at him.
You can't fight.
I got a little lucky there on that shot, and I do take him out. That's my second kill. Now, the M7 Priest. I take a shot at him, and I bounce. I bounce a TD, or an artillery piece with a TD. I take a shot in the blind, and I don't get him. My tally count doesn't go up any. Now the M3 Stuart's a problem. I want to turn around and address this guy. He's moving across here, and I donk my first shot. I drop it right into the ground. I want to kill him though. I have to get this guy, because if I don't, he's going to come in here and he's going to kill my artillery. But I don't have any shots on him, and if I reposition, it's going to take me long enough to get over there that those tanks are going to be dead anyway. I get a shot here at this PZ-2A, and I learn my lesson, and I catch him. That's my third kill. Our cap is under pressure. This is the first time this game that it's under pressure. You're going to see that it's going to happen a lot. I move off of my position so I can get close enough to get spotting on the cap circle, and I see this Hago that I hit earlier, and by the time I get a good sighted in shot on him, he's already gone. So I missed that kill. So I continue to head down this way, just to make sure that there's nobody else coming right behind him that's about to run into cap circle. I get turned around for the PZ-2D. I miss a shot at him as he backs down the hill here. Okay, but I'm a little patient, and it pays off because I do get a second chance at him as he tries to work his way back up the hill in reverse.
His flavored popsicle.
So I catch him. That's 4. Cap is under pressure again. This time it's a Cruiser 1, a British light tank. I take a shot at him. He's not quite moving fast enough. I miss. I get another shot in on him. I pin back by his engine compartment, but it's not enough to finish him. He doesn't continue on past that rock. He's doing circles and caps, so I get in front of him,
Can't fight, and
I kill him.
a virgin.
Now this
That's
guy here is a tough deal for me. This BTSV is actually in a position where I can't get my gun barrel up to shoot him because I'm on a slope. I have to run downhill towards him to kill him. And if I'm not mistaken, that is a Russian premium tank. I get another shot here at the artillery, so of course I'm going to head that way to take it. But I'm the only team or tank left on my team at this point. So they're just taking speculative shots at me. The Marder had me spotted still. And he's shooting from across the way. And artillery is just raining stuff down. And I know at this point that I'm in the blind. And they're shooting anyway. Because I'm the only thing left to shoot at. I back down off the hill and I move back over towards Cat. Because I know where the 2 artillery are. I knew where that TD was. But I was missing a light tank. So I come back over here to try and get shots in a cap circle, and I'm looking back and forth, and I can't find the tank that's in cap. Now I'm close enough, I have all of cap circle lit up. I should be able to see it. My view radius was big enough that it was encompassing all of the cap circle. But this guy is obviously hiding behind or in something. So I don't come up right straight towards the cap. I do swing a little bit wide out towards these buildings, but I've got a lot of time. I've got 1:03 left on the clock, and I rush it anyway.
I see dead
and I pay for it with my tank.
Is that? I ain't dead. I'm coming
so
back
the
for
PZ-38
more.
finished me off, and let's see what the numbers look like for this game. So you see it's a defeat, of course. I was the last tank left on my team, and I wasn't able to kill the other 4 tanks left on the board. So I get a first class mastery badge, and the Marder too, yeah. I get high caliber because I did more damage to enemy tanks than my tank is worth, and there's a Top Gun award there for the 6 kills. Looking here, I put damage. Let's see, I shot at 9 tanks. I only hit, 8, and I killed 6. But I got spotting on 3, which is definitely going to change come the next patch when they reduce the spotting ranges for the tank destroyers. They won't be able to self-spot as much as they used to. Looking at the team score, in my Marder 2, I have 722 points of damage, 6 kills. 379 XP, more than anybody else on my team. Okay, the guy here in the lore actually had a pretty good game. He had 451 points of damage. We got a couple guys in here above 200. That's pretty good. The enemy team, that PTSV, was having a great game with 5 kills, 818 points of damage. He earned 881 XP. I would have been Top Gun for that tank if he would have got me. So he's probably hating it. I, Fohammer, is not enjoying the loss probably. Well, he's enjoying the victory he got, but the loss of his tank there before he could get his Top Gun was probably really frustrating. The enemy team had one guy above 300. They had a couple above 200. So really, if you look at the top 4 teams or tanks on each team, they did very similar in the amount of damage that they had. So there were some people out there that had a pretty decent game for Tier 3. So looking at the detail report, I had 18 shots fired. I only had 10 hits, and out of the 10 hits, I had 8 penetrations. The damage that I caused was at 722 from a distance of more than 300 meters. That was 320. Like I said, this map is very campy at range, so you can expect to get damage at a distance of more than 300 meters if your gun has enough of a low enough deviation to consistently hit tanks out at that range. Hits received 2, penetrations 2. Very much like the Panzerjager 1, this tank has very, very little armor. So, looking at it, the hull armor is 16 points front, 14 points sides, 14 points back. So, you can't expect to bounce rounds in a tank like this. When you do, kind of like in that Panzerjager 1, it's going to be unusual. The enemy vehicle spotted, like I said before, was 3. Enemy vehicles damaged or destroyed, I hit 7, killed 6. There was no spotting damage caused off of the 3 tanks that I spotted, so I missed out on that. Received 7,000 credits, 600 XP with a little bit of free XP there. The total match time was 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Let's see, the tank itself, the Marder 2, is very much like the Panzerjager. It's built on the same chassis. The Germans built a whole line of tank destroyers on that chassis. The gun is just mounted above it with a metal plate to protect the gun crew while they're firing the weapon. So not a lot of consideration for safety, but then again, with the tank destroyers, they expected them to be back behind the battle line and fire in support of their fellow tankers. That or they would be in ambush positions. So especially tanks like the Hetzer, as you saw that part of the war unfold, got a lot of ambush attacks. This tank has 165 hit points. The top speed on it is 40 kilometers per hour. The traverse speed of the tracks is 38 degrees per second. I'm sorry, I was wrong about the hull armor. The hull armor is 35 millimeters in the front, 14 side, 14 rear. The standard shell damage range is between 86 and 144 points of damage. The standard shell penetration range is between 72 millimeters of armor thickness all the way up to 120 millimeters of armor thickness. It fires up to 12 rounds per minute. The reload time for me on this tank with my crew at about 75-ish% was 5.52 seconds. The gun traverse speed is 26 degrees per second. Now, the gun traverse is just a little bit of wiggle that the barrel gets up in that plate. Really, the way that you traverse the gun, the weapon system itself, is to traverse the entire tank at the tracks. So, again, like I said in the last video, with the tank destroyers, you do want to have range from your target because you have a very narrow cone that gun will pivot in without you moving the whole tank. Every time you move the whole tank, your aiming circle gets really, really big, and you have to wait for that to come down. When you just move the barrel a little bit, it doesn't impact the aiming circle as much. So when you have more distance from your target, that little bitty wedge, that cone of effective fire that you can put out by pivoting the gun a little bit, covers a greater area. The view range on the tank was 350 meters. The signal range, the radio range, is 550 meters. So view range is the range at which you can spot an enemy tank by yourself. Okay, that signal range is the range at which tanks spotted by your fellow tankers show up on your mini-map and in your visual display because you've received the radio position of where that tank is. Okay. Did I take a shot of the tank stuff? Yes, I did. Okay. The tank, as it was sitting at the time, I had unlocked and equipped the better tracks, the better engine, the FUG 8 radio, because if you look at this particular um, tree as I move up to the Marder 38T and further on down the line, that Fug 8 radio is going to be used for a long time, so I might as well go ahead and unlock it at the lower tiers before I go after the next tank, because I'm going to get a lot of usage out of that 4000 XP that I put into that radio. I didn't bother to unlock the better gun on it. Um, Before I leave this tank, I probably will unlock the gun in case I have to come back to it to move to the Hetzer if I decide to go down the other tank destroyer line for the Germans, because as you look at their tech trees, they have two separate lines. Okay, the tank destroyer types that they lead to are very, very different. And if you're going to proceed down the German tank destroyer line, I suggest that you once you watch a bunch of videos from other people, see some Let's Plays on those tank destroyers, and try and determine for yourself which one of those tank destroyer lines you want to go down. Because nothing's going to frustrate you more than for you to get into tier 7 and 8 tanks and realize that you're in the wrong tech tree, that you need to then come back to tier 3 and then go back down the other line. So kind of pick out where you want to go with your tanks before you get there. So that was, for me, a fun game, even though it was a loss. I felt that I was very effective. I got a top gun out of it, and we just didn't get the win. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And until next time, peace, love, and video games.